Joining us here in the charts, that is the Crypto Flight Edition. Yes, this is your fellow compadre speaking. Well overdue update for Bitcoin here. I'm going to take a look at the charts and shed some light on what I'm seeing behind the scenes here, as Bitcoin appears to be moving lower. But no need to lose your shirt. It's just simply in a range, and I do have an emergency level that I want to show you, wonderful folks, on the weekly candles that you may find interesting, or at least something to put on your chart to truly understand if the market is setting up for a crash here. So, which I don't think, so let's be clear about that. So let's get into the details, guys. Welcome back, loyal family. If you're new here, we only explore price action. Thanks for sticking around, my loyal subscribers. Let's go ahead and dive right into the charts here. Sure. So today's August the 3rd, 2024, and the current price of Bitcoin, $61,618.29, fluctuating slightly negative 1.5% for the day. Okay. All right, you wonderful folks, let's pull up this really simple chart. All right, so we're taking a look at the 8 cap broker. Well, we're looking at the chart on tradingview.com, but the brokerage appears to be 8 cap. If you can see that at the top of the screen there, just to let you guys know what I'm looking at, okay? This is the brokerage from 8 cap. All right, so the emergency level, you can see it clearly on the screen, which is 51.1. We'll get to that in 1 second. I think the most important thing for us to understand is Bitcoin is currently range bound. Now, can this range break out soon after I post this video? Sure, but I'll give you guys the range, and where I'm seeing the Bitcoin price kind of bouncing within right now. The top of the range is going to be 71,000, sorry. Yeah, let's call it $70,900. That's the top of the range. It goes all the way down to approximately, let's see, about $61,100. Now, a lot of things can change from the time I'm making this video to the time I actually post it. Okay, so mark that on your calendars, or your chart there rather, $61,100. This is an active weekly candle. This little red candle you're looking at right here. Now, this candle actually closes within a day and 6 hours. So if it closes below $61,100, it's likely that the market is trying to break out of the range bound that I was able to identify. That makes sense, okay? So let's take a look at the daily candle and see if we can get a better view here. Excuse me. All right, so that's a little bit of a better view. Let's see if I can erase this on the chart here. All right, so this is kind of a little bit better, and you'll notice on the daily candle that there's a small wick on this daily candle, just kind of representing some buying activity at the lower portion of this range. So again, as far as like a crash or like a major crash going on right now, so far I don't see it. I wouldn't be losing my shirt right now. I still am interested in still actually actively buying Bitcoin at the current levels. And of course, if it moves lower, that's just simply a better buy-in opportunity for the portfolio. So for that reason, I'm still looking to go long. Again, well, I just said I'm buying, right? Well, for that reason, I do not see any imminent crash in this market when if Bitcoin breaks out of the lower portion of the market, that the lower portion of the range that we explained, 61.1, then we would look towards the emergency level, which I don't think is going to happen, at least not within the next 3 days. I'll just put that prediction out there. And if it happens, okay, that's fine. And if that were the case, then the next thing that I would look for is a close above 51.1 on the weekly candles. All right, I wouldn't even be looking at the daily candles if we get a close below 61.1. all right, over the next day and 6 hours. As I mentioned, the weekly candle is approaching a close over the weekend here. Okay, so in a nutshell, let's summarize this, right? Some of the critics say, dude, you're saying they're going to go up and down, whoop-de-doo, right? What I'm saying is there's no need to lose your shirt, guys. Bitcoin is in a range. 61.1 is the lower portion of the range. Another thing that I will say is the time. You guys know I look at the time. If we do a comparison, let's clean up the chart really quickly here. Let's just kind of erase everything. I like keeping it super simple, right? So if we notice this 3 candles here, the weekly candles, 1, 2, 3 candles up, 3 green candles. Now, this is a pretty aggressive red candle. This is just simply showing the amount of strength that the sellers have in comparison to the 3 candles that moved up, if that makes sense. So over the next 2 weeks, If the weekly candle actually closes below that emergency level that I said, which 51.1, yeah, that's actually an interesting sign that you may want to raise an eyebrow and say, all right, so there might be a little bit more selling here in the short term that I'm able to identify. But so far, no, I'm not losing my shirt or getting nervous or anything, guys. It's just simply range bound. And I'm just waiting until the weekly closes to see how to proceed next. Well, either way, I'm just simply dollar cost averaging. I'm not really doing any active participating, buying and selling Bitcoin, just simply buying at these levels and hopefully lower. All right, I hope it goes lower. Pardon me, bulls. But yeah, I would like to get a better entry as we're averaging here. So I don't think the market is crashing. It's range bound. I've said this 3 times on the video, but I don't see a crash right now. Not right now, guys. You have the levels 61.1. We get a close below that level. Look towards the emergency level 51.1. That is it. Really simple. We have not changed our stance in terms of a bullish Bitcoin incoming here in the short to mid, even long term. So let's let Bitcoin just, shake out the weak hands and just eventually traject higher as it has been doing ever since the inception. So that's all I have for you. Don't lose your shirt. Bitcoin looks just fine. If you back out, if ever in doubt, just zoom out. And if you zoom out, you'll see that everything looks fine. It's at the higher levels. Sure. Is it overpriced? That's not for me to determine. My job as an interesting analyst is just to point out the levels, the ranges, and what I'm seeing in terms of the trajectory in the short term. In the short term, yes, it looks like we should have more downward pressure, but you have the levels. It's range bound. If it breaks out to the downside, you have the emergency level. All right. So I'll put that level back on the screen so we're clear. That's all I have for you, wonderful folks. So that's the end of the video. Hopefully you got something out of it. If not, I'll give you guys an update hopefully soon. It's about that time to stay actively updating Bitcoin. So yeah, that's what we'll do. All right. Leave me a comment or a reminder saying, hey man, it's time for an update, and we'll get right to it. All right. That's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you don't mind doing me a huge favor before you go by simply leaving an appropriate thumb on the video, I'd appreciate it if you enjoyed the content. And leave a comment so that the YouTube algorithm can promote the video on the channel. Thank you for your continued support. If you guys are new, we also explored the traditional stocks from time to time, so you can kindly join us here on this interesting journey, and we'll send that out to you momentarily. Welcome in. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your time. Remember to always have a strategy before you enter the market. Keep that positive energy flowing. We'll talk soon. Doesn't look like this is going to age well, but you have the levels, guys. 61.1, all right? And bye for now.